The next one I want to update you on is an update on, of course, Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor, she was fatally shot by Louisville Metro PD on March 13th, 2020, and the officers involved have not been arrested. So if you remember this story, Breonna Taylor was in her bed sleeping. This was a young woman who was, of course, black, and she was an EMT, I believe. She was a nurse or in the medical profession. And she was somebody who, March 13th, was right around the time we had the national lockdown. And so we have the coronavirus sweeping through. She's somebody who we need on the front lines. She was at home in an apartment with her boyfriend, and the police shot 10 bullets through the window. They couldn't even see who was on the other side of it because there was foil or something covering the windows. And they shot her and killed her. She was shot multiple times. Her boyfriend, who was there, realized that they're under attack, fires back. He gets arrested and charged with attempted murder. Well, the police were investigating somebody who was already in custody, who wasn't even still the subject of the investigation. They were at the wrong apartment looking for the wrong person, and they shot and killed Breonna in cold blood, and there have been no arrests. So let's think. March 13th, April, May, June, July 13th. We're now on July 15th. So it's been 4 months. Nobody's been arrested on this. On Tuesday, more than 100 protesters marched to Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron's house, stood in front of his lawn, and demanded justice for Breonna Taylor. They demanded that Cameron criminally charge the 3 officers involved in the shooting. Since on Monday, Cameron said he did not have a timeline for when his office will conclude the investigation of the case. I've said this many, many times. This is the standard operating procedure for these different agencies. Justice delayed is justice denied. Breonna's family is living with her death in this sort of purgatory state. These officers who shot and killed her are on, as far as I know, free on the streets. They're just, free men. The only development that we have seen is that Officer Hankinson was fired on June 23rd, and the other 2 officers were only placed on administrative reassignment. So these guys have not even been arrested yet or charged. They fired their weapons and they killed somebody, but they're still free. The repercussions have been administrative reassignment and a firing, but no criminal charges. You or I do that, of course, that's murder. But these guys, they're free because they are police officers. And so what these departments do is they drag their feet on these things. They just let them linger. Because what happens? Since March 13th, how many other cases have we had? We've had George Floyd. We've had Ahmaud Arbery. We've had Rayshard Brooks. We've had James Garcia. We just talked about Maria Valenzuela. It's just never ending. And so what the Breonna Taylor's department is going to do is they're just going to drag their feet, continue this thing on, let it go and go and go. And then suddenly they'll have a resolution. And because so much other stuff has been piled up, they're not going to have nobody's going to have any interest in it. So they're going to be able to just kind of sweep this thing under the rug as they have been doing for years and years and years. But of course, we're not going to let them do that because we're covering the story today. Most of the public has probably forgotten about Breonna's case. We have not. We covered it from the very, very get-go before all the George Floyd stuff. We will continue to cover it, which is why, of course, you should subscribe to this channel. All right. The march at the Attorney General's house was organized by the National Social Justice Organization Until Freedom. Police surrounded the protesters, and they ended up arresting 87 people, charged each with intimidating a participant in a legal process, which is a felony, disorderly conduct, which is a misdemeanor, and criminal trespass in the 3rd degree, which of course is a violation. So they go to protest, and they get arrested for it. Do you see how just sick this whole thing is? So these cops go to Breonna's house, they shoot and kill her. Her boyfriend fires back. They arrest him and charge him with attempted murder. It's like, guys, you were shooting into his house. He wasn't shooting into your house. He didn't know who you are. This was a no-knock raid. This was, after hours, if I'm not mistaken. And if somebody's firing bullets into your house and you don't know that they're the cops, even if they are the cops and somebody's firing bullets in your house and you return fire to protect your life, sounds pretty justified to me. And so they arrested him for that. They arrested him and charged him with murder. So now there's been no justice for 4 months. This guy's lost his job, but he's out on the street. Protesters show up to the attorney general's house. Guess what happens to them? You're all getting arrested too. How dare you protest, and how dare you come on our property? So look, I understand that there's a right way to protest and a wrong way to protest. I don't know the specifics of this protest. I don't know if they were, breaking into the house or something like that. There's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, but it is not good. I mean, it's basically the police saying, yeah, we understand that you're protesting. We're not going to do anything about this. And if you show up again, we're all going to arrest you. And they arrested 87 people. Do you know how many people that is? It's like busloads of people that they're just hauling down to the station. So we'll see what happens with that story. I don't know if those charges are going to stick or not, but it is troubling. And we're going to continue to see what happens. I've got a couple quotes here. In response to the protest, Cameron said, the justice is not achieved by trespassing on private property, and it's not achieved through escalation. It's achieved by examining the facts in an impartial and unbiased manner. That is exactly what we're going to do in the investigation. From the beginning, our office is set out to do its job to fully investigate the events surrounding Miss Breonna Taylor. We continue with the thorough and fair investigation, and today's events will not alter the pursuit of the truth. So that is from, who's that? It's from Cameron. All right. So that's Breonna Taylor's story.